Meet me. All right, welcome back, boys, and we have a pretty hefty set of patch notes that released last night, so let's go over them. I skip these sometimes, but this is a preview for the entire second half of 2022. So yeah, let's get right into it. It has 40,000 views. Wow. All right, so they do this every once in a while where they kind of release stuff in batches and kind of tell you where the game is headed. Although they've done this in the past, and I feel like we haven't even gotten all this stuff revealed in earlier ones, but we'll see. So, looks like their priorities are gameplay improvements, that's pretty generic. Support growth, that's important. New content, QOL. So, it's actually pretty vague because, like, I don't know. Other than this, all of these are just everything can qualify as these three. So, we'll see. So background battling function. So this I actually watched. If I am wrong, feel free to correct me. But it isn't actually what I fully wanted, but it makes sense. Because here's the problem with Epic 7. Not really a problem, but the game is basically a farming game, right? You just do hunts all day to try and get the gear you need to actually progress, especially in PvP. But the thing is, other gotchas have things like skip tickets, so you could skip all that boring garbage. But Epic 7 has always had this idea of building good hunt teams, right? Like one-shot teams. And if you have skip tickets, it kind of invalidates all of that. And this whole idea of like Wyvern or team being like a progression. Because otherwise, like in other games, you would beat it once and then just use skip tickets on it over and over. So I feel like they never wanted to go that route, although I would personally have no problem with it, but I get why they didn't. So the background battling is pretty cool, but basically, from what I understand, it's the same thing except that during your repeat battles, you can do other stuff. Like, so you don't have to lock up your E7 doing Wyvern on repeat. You could basically turn on that repeat battling, but then still upgrade your gear, do Labyrinth, and do other stuff. What you can't do, though, is turn on background battling and then keep doing more Wyvern, because then you'd be double dipping. So basically, you can do hunts in the background, and then you could do everything else in the game because they are basically understanding that hunt is not engaging content once you're able to auto it. So overall, this is a big improvement. When I read background battling, I almost read that as you could turn on hunts and then basically not even have E7 running. It literally runs in the background on your phone. It doesn't seem to be the case. It seems like you still need to be actually playing Epic 7. It's just doing the hunts in the background. So definitely better than nothing. Definitely a huge improvement. But honestly, it doesn't change much for me because usually I just have it running on Bluestacks. I'm not even paying attention to it. So either way, it was in the background. And I'm not really doing other stuff anyway. Region reward improvement. So the rest of this I haven't really seen. Doesn't really matter all that much, but it looks like they're decreasing the difficulty of some of the side story stuff. I don't know how much people care about that. Blah, blah, blah. They're making some improvements in terms of the stories, although I think probably at least 80%, if not 90%, of us are best friends with that skip button. So a lot of us probably don't even know what the story is. But for those of you who are interested, it looks like they're trying to streamline it so that the story makes more sense with the side stories. Unrecorded history. So there's about 220. It is pretty tiring. So they're going to compress it and reduce the process required to obtain desired catalysts and release rewards. So it sounds like they're going to reduce the number of stages. I'm not sure how much it matters for people who've already cleared it, because honestly, like, you just pick a random stage that drops the catalyst and you just turn it on auto every once in a while. But I think this might be another new player enhancement. So if you're just joining the game, you don't have to redo 220 stages. I didn't even realize that it was that many from scratch. So for new players, this is definitely a really good update. Although I don't know why it's taking so long. It seems like it's pretty simple to do. Just eliminate half the garbage stages. Growth support. So this is going to be something that's very important. The last time we got that Moonlight selector, I'm assuming they might do something similar again here. Well, I think they mentioned this before, this Grace of Growth thing. So you basically register a hero for the Grace of Growth, and I think they just like level faster. I don't know what this means. If the hero has a naturally high growth rate, then the high growth rate will be applied. That's confusing. If the register is max of plus 15. Oh, okay. All right, so it's giving them more molas. You can't use them in PvP or world boss supporters if you do this. But it sounds like basically it allows you to use the hero at a powered up state without actually leveling it. So I don't know. I think for established players, they won't care so much about this. But again, it's for newer players. I'm sure it's helpful because it's been so long that I don't even remember the struggles of leveling heroes. I have like a billion penguins now. So basically, when a new hero comes out, I don't even play them. They just immediately become level 66 Star Awakened, which is what happens to every endgame player. But definitely for newer players, that's a big plus. New web event, Call to Adventure. It does apply to returning heirs as well. Rewards such as, basically 70 free covenants, or I guess 63 free covenants, and other currencies. So let's see. So I guess if you already did all this, you just get all this stuff for free. Silver Cent Stigma. Why is Stigma ever an award? That is garbage. Stigma is useless. Conquest points. Gold 100. Honestly, the rewards are pretty garbage except for these last two. Pretty mild things. The rest of this is pretty low value, to be honest. This is good, though. Basically a hunt buff. For returning heirs, not too huge, but definitely helpful. To successfully, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so they're giving some kind of event to help people get to Hunt 13. I feel like Hunt 13 is pretty easy to get to nowadays with all the Wyvern heroes that were released, but I guess easier is always better, especially for newer players. Time to provoke has been reduced significantly. Again, I don't really agree with this, but for newer players, maybe. Hero support check-in event. Wait, what is this? After promoting their first 3 heroes. So after you promote each hero, you get these perks. I guess that's nice. The catalysts are pretty big, so it's basically letting you awaken the hero. So again, freebies are always good. Moonlight Blessing is made easier. Okay, so nothing, looks like they're not getting an extra Moonlight Blessing, but they're just keeping the existing one. Oh! This is huge, guys. This is huge. Oh, I'm jizzing myself over here. Yes. The equipment slots drive me absolutely bananas. I hate clearing out my inventory. This is incredible. I can't wait till it's expanded up to 7,000 because I have so much gear, and every time I do hunts, I have to keep moving my reforged gear in and out of the waiting thing, and it just really annoys me. So just knowing that I can do that less, this is the MVP of the note so far, at least for me as an endgame player. New content quality, Moonlight Theater. So I don't really understand this. I tried to skim it, but basically it sounds like you watch some weird videos and you get rewards for it. So over there, Moonlight Theater, and it's just like a weird thing. Importantly, the skip button is still there, so you could click on it and skip it, I guess. But it wasn't clear to me if you actually like fight anything, or if you just keep skipping all these things and getting free stuff. You buy the tickets with gold apparently and get mystics. So hey, free mystics, I'll take them anytime. I don't really consider that content though, if it's really just watching stuff, but maybe it is. Now we have 3 team arena battles. They had mentioned this before, but it never came. It's kind of what I alluded to in the past. But it's not RTA, it's casual PvP content. And they're basically just trying to mix up PvP. So it's a best of 3 where there's 3 heroes on each team instead of 4. So I don't know. Well, the screenshot they gave is actually 4 players on each side, so that's kind of weird. But and this is just an RTA screenshot, so I'm kind of confused by what the screenshots are trying to tell us. But I guess the bottom looks like it's new, so we'll see. We'll see what that is. It doesn't really seem to explain how that actually works other than saying that it's very casual. Labyrinth revamp. So this I'm actually excited about because Labyrinth blows. In the beginning it's fun when you're first clearing it. Later on it blows because what happens is if you want to be efficient, you still have to do normal Labyrinth to get the whatever the hell that thing is, the cockroach key to do Hell Queen, or Hell Raid basically. So you're forced to do Hell Raid and then do the exact same thing on normal, and you have to keep clicking the arrows, which is a pain in the ass. So let's make this go away. Let's see what they're going to do here. So they're changing normal Asmacallus. I've done it so many times, I don't even know what the name of it is. Asmacallus. And here, they admit it. There's very little reason for players to play Asmacallus in normal difficulty repeatedly. Well, except for the token that you get from the queen. So they'll be changing it to a normal difficulty. Instead, they'll add a new challenge mode in hell difficulty. And basically the bosses will drop more items. So hopefully they get rid of the key from normal. And basically, I guess they're making hell mode harder and the rewards will be better. So you only have to do it once, which I'm fine with because hell mode you only do once a month. If it's harder, fine. I like that change a lot. New Labyrinth Meldrick. I hope this isn't another BS Labyrinth. It is a BS sign because it's going to be a normal Labyrinth, so hopefully it has decent rewards, because if it doesn't have 88 rewards, it's just another waste of time. So hopefully the rewards in here are amazing. I generally don't like the Labyrinths very much, but and they haven't really shown what the rewards are, but whatever. If we only have to clear it once, get some sweet rewards, never have to do it again, I have no problem with it. I just don't want more weekly annoying content. QLL updates. There will be a standard screen and a detail screen. Okay, so basically it looks like this is the battle screen where you get to see all the stuff related to stats and stuff, and all the stuff like, I don't know, gifts and stories and stuff will be going on a different page. I guess it's an improvement. I don't know how much that bothered me, but okay, fine. We could do that. Favoriting heroes. I didn't really care about this so much, but I guess it's fine if you're using heroes a lot and you want to mark them as such. I just like finding them by element. It doesn't really bother me. But if you're using the same heroes all the time, my problem with this is if you have a huge pool of heroes, it's going to be hard to favorite all of them. And if you favorite too many of them, it becomes useless because it just becomes a wall of heroes, right? But overall, I mean, at least the option is always better than no option. Okay, that's fine. Well, it says you can move any equipment to storage, but I'm not seeing that button there. So it's kind of confusing. It says you can move equipment to storage by tapping the Reforge button. Why would clicking Reforge move it to storage? That's very strange. But yeah, overall, fine. I'm fine with that. New lobby types. This is just like a visual thing. I think you could just change the background to look sweeter. Got some waifus over here, but I don't think it actually changes anything in the game. But it is, the E7 lobby is pretty ugly, to be honest, so it's a welcome change overall. And then for the 4th year anniversary, we're going to be getting a bunch of free stuff. So Artifact, I don't know what it does, probably friendship or something. Mystic medals, leaves, catalyst bundles, and then a 5-star Covenant hero selector. Honestly, I feel like, I guess it's okay. They're kind of skimping on the gifts. I guess you get around 500 mystics, and for the 4-year anniversary, I think they could afford to give a little more. But overall, I guess the big ticket item here is this. So basically, if it's like previous years, you just get to select whatever Covenant hero you want. The limiteds will be excluded, and they usually exclude like the last few heroes that came out. So I guess that'd be like Yolha and that crappy blue thing, Tayuk or whatever his name was that no one uses. But who cares? Like you'll probably be able to get like Hwayoung and stuff from this and Shu. So if you guys want, I could do a video on what you should pick. Let me know in the comment section below if you want to do that, but I'm sure most of you already know. So let's look at the roadmap. It's kind of confusing. So this is general, September 1st. We're going to get all these things that for most of us we won't care about. September, we will get the Moonlight Theater pretty early too, though. I mean, September 1st is right around the corner. And then the rest of this stuff is, so in the near future, it looks like we don't really get that much other than the check-in event. Looks like later in the fourth quarter, we'll get this other cool stuffers. And looks like that's about it. So let's see what some of these comments are. Yeah, you know, the main complaints about gear. You know, while we wrap up here, this is the problem with Epic 7 that is very difficult to solve because, you know, they're trying to make the game very friendly for new players and returning players, but they're not. None of this addresses why players actually quit the game. And from every person that I've known who quit the game, the reason is gear. They feel like the gear grind is just too oppressive. And it's true. The problem with this game is that with new players, there's no reset button, right? The gear that you got like 3 years ago is still relevant today. So if you join as a new player, you are astronomically far behind. Whereas other games have a reset button, right? Like think of something like World of Warcraft. Think of all the content that's come out in like, how old is that game? Like 10 years? All the content that's come out in 10 years of World of Warcraft. But the thing is, the previous 9 years don't matter, right? When players start playing World of Warcraft, they just get jump started to the latest content, and it takes them like a few months to catch up to players that have been playing for years, because no one cares if those old players who've been playing for decades did that earlier content. None of that gear matters anymore. In Epic 7, you know, even when Reforged came out, it was using the same 85 gear, so the gear system has been the same forever. So realistically, if a new player you know, wanted to join this game and asked me, you know, I would say definitely play the game because I love this game and stuff. But if they were to seriously ask me, hey, Dr. Squirrel, I'm just starting the game and, you know, I want to be a top player. You know, I want to be super competitive. Can I get there in 6 months and compete with the best? My answer would be you don't have a chance in hell even if you spend $50,000 because people underestimate the value of you know, just playing for free. Like if you wanted to buy a year's worth of free resources with money, that's tens of thousands of dollars. Like I'd rather be a day one F2P player than a new player right now with a $50,000 bankroll, because you don't actually get that much for your money in this game compared to just doing the banners for a year straight. So yeah, like I don't know if they'll ever address that. The reason they don't want to address that is because for the whales, they don't want to piss them off by saying, okay, reset, all your gear is useless now, it's time for you to start over with everybody, which is, you know, this problem that all pay-to-win games have. They have to make sometimes dodgy gameplay decisions to not piss off the people paying the bills. But it is what it is. So I wish they would do something a little bit to address that. Like, one thing that could kind of work, like an idea I had, was something, a true pity system for gear. Because we don't have like, the last thing they gave us was basically, it wasn't a pity system, it was an extra chance system, right? Where when you craft 20 pieces of gear or whatever, you get one extra chance. But that one extra chance usually ends up being garbage too. I would love to see a true pity system where after like 25,000 claws or something, you can actually guarantee yourself a piece of gear above like a 70 gear score or something with the subs you want. And to make sure, and like the argument against in the past was that any system like that would be abused by whales. Just time gated, just like MOLAs. Just be like, here's this pity system, but you can only redeem it once a month. So that, or once every 2, whatever it is where F2P players would hit that benchmark and tie the whales to it so that the whales don't have even more of an advantage. But I don't know, I'd like something like that because the gear system is oppressive. Like I've been playing Epic 7 for 3 years. Probably spent hundreds of dollars on electricity just doing Wyvern, burning up my laptops. And whatever. Maybe that'll be first half 2023 patch notes. But overall, I have nothing wrong with these patch notes. They're good overall, but nothing mind-blowing. So anyways, if I missed anything, you have any of your own comments, leave them in the comment section below. Until next time, peace out, boys.